My beloved child, stop right now. Stop moving. Stop rehearsing problems. Stop trying to hold the day together. Let the room become quiet. Let your breathing slow. You do not need to solve anything. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to prove. Just stay here gently with me. Take one slow breath. Let it reach the place in your chest that has felt tight. Then breathe out and release the pressure you carried. I know you have been pushing yourself forward because you were afraid that if you stopped, everything might fall apart. But you are not holding the world together. I am. You have been living as though rest must be earned. You have told yourself that you can pause after the problem is solved, after the family is safe, after the money is enough, after the answer arrives, after everyone else is okay. Yet every time one concern becomes quiet, another one takes its place. Your soul has been waiting for permission to breathe. I am giving you that permission now. Be still. This is not laziness. This is not weakness. This is not you giving up. This is you remembering that you were never meant to live every hour with your heart prepared for danger. You have been alert for so long that peace now feels unfamiliar. Even when the room is calm, your mind keeps searching for what might go wrong. I see that. I understand why. There were moments when you had no choice but to survive. You learned to function while afraid. You learned to smile while carrying sorrow. You learned to answer people kindly while your thoughts were exhausted. You learned to keep moving when your body was asking for rest. Those skills helped you through a difficult season, but they were never meant to become your permanent way of living. My beloved child, listen closely. The warning I am placing before you is simple. Do not keep carrying everything alone. Do not mistake constant tension for responsibility. Do not call anxiety wisdom. Do not believe that worrying about every possible outcome will protect the people you love. Worry has never been your shield. I am. You may think that staying tense keeps you prepared, but tension has begun to steal your attention from the life happening in front of you. It has taken sleep from your nights and gratitude from your mornings. It has made ordinary decisions feel heavier than they are. It has convinced you that peace is unsafe because something bad might happen when you finally relax. That is why I am asking you to stop. Not forever, not to abandon your responsibilities. I am asking you to stop long enough to remember who is with you. When the disciples were caught in the storm, the wind was real and the waves were real. Their fear was not imaginary. Yet I was in the boat with them. My presence did not depend on the water becoming calm first. I was near while the storm was still loud. In the same way, I am not waiting outside your trouble until it becomes easier. I am with you inside it. You do not have to calm the storm before you come to me. You do not have to organize your thoughts before you pray. You do not have to hide the part of you that feels confused, angry, disappointed, or tired. Bring that part closer. Let me meet you there. Say what is true. Father, I am tired. Father, I am afraid. Father, I do not know what to do next. Father, I need help. These words are enough. I am not impressed by complicated prayers. I am moved by an honest heart. The moment you stop performing and speak truthfully, something inside you begins to open. Your breathing changes. Your body realizes it is no longer alone. Your mind makes room for wisdom that panic was drowning out. My beloved child, I know what you have not told anyone. I know the concern that sits beside you in the morning. I know the conversation you keep replaying. I know the name that makes your heart ache. I know the decision you are afraid to make. I know how often you say that you are fine because explaining the truth feels exhausting. You do not have to explain everything to me. I already know the story beneath the silence. Stay here for another moment. Place your feet on the floor. Notice that you are supported. Let that simple feeling remind you that my care is beneath you even when you cannot see it. Unclench your hands, lower your shoulders, release your jaw. Your body has been trying to protect you, but it can learn a new message now. You are not facing this moment by yourself. I am not asking you to deny reality. I am asking you to stop allowing fear to speak as though it is the only truth. There may still be bills to pay, conversations to face, appointments to attend, and choices to make. But you will meet them differently when your heart is no longer running ahead of you. Peace does not mean nothing is wrong. Peace means what is wrong does not control everything within you. My beloved child, let my presence become larger than the noise. Let my faithfulness become stronger than the prediction in your mind. You have survived days you once thought would break you. You have been carried through places where you did not know how to continue. You are still here not because you never became weak, but because I never stopped holding you. Do not rush past this truth. I am here. I have seen you. I have heard the prayer beneath your breathing, and I have not brought you to this moment to frighten you. I brought you here to interrupt the pattern that has been draining your spirit. I brought you here to remind you that stopping can become the beginning of healing. Stillness can become the doorway to clarity. One honest breath can become the first step out of survival. So stay open. Do not reach for the next distraction yet. Let the quiet remain a little longer. Something important is beginning, and it did not begin by accident. My beloved child, in the next part of this message, I will show you why you were brought here for a reason, why this moment matters, and why the path that led you to these words was not as random as it seemed. My beloved child, I told you that this moment was not as random as it seemed. Now let that truth settle gently within you. The path that brought you here was made of ordinary choices, small pauses, quiet questions, and moments when your heart was searching for something you could not name. You may think you simply clicked, listened, or stayed, but I saw the deeper hunger beneath that decision. I knew what your spirit needed before you found the words for it. You are here because my love kept reaching toward you. You have been asking for direction in ways you did not always recognize as prayer. Sometimes the question came while you were driving. Sometimes it appeared as a heavy thought before sleep. Sometimes it rose when you watched other people move forward and wondered whether your own life had been forgotten. My beloved child, every honest question turned your heart toward me, even when you were unsure whether I was near. You were brought here because there is something I need you to remember before you take another step. You are not invisible. You are not moving through life unnoticed. I have been present in the details you dismissed as ordinary. I saw the moment you almost gave up on hope, then chose to continue for one more day. I saw the message you did not send because wisdom told you to wait. I saw the tears you wiped away before anyone entered the room. The world often notices loud victories. I notice quiet faithfulness. I notice when you show kindness while carrying pain. I notice when you complete a small responsibility, even though your mind feels tired. I notice when you return to prayer after disappointment. These moments may not look impressive to others, but they reveal a heart that is still reaching for light. My beloved child, think about Philip on the road when my spirit guided him toward one person traveling through the desert. To human eyes, it may have seemed like an interruption or a strange change of direction, but I knew there was a question waiting inside that traveler. I knew one conversation could open understanding. What looked random was actually an appointment. In the same way, some moments in your life have carried more purpose than you realized. A delay may have placed you near someone who needed your kindness. A change of plans may have protected you from a decision made in fear. A sentence you heard at the right time may have kept your heart from closing completely. You did not always recognize my guidance because it often came quietly. I am not saying every inconvenience is a hidden sign or that you must search anxiously for meaning in every detail. I do not want you to become afraid of missing me. My guidance is not a puzzle designed to confuse you. I know how to reach you. I know how to repeat what matters, confirm what is wise, and bring peace when the next step is right. You have worried that you missed your moment. You have looked back at choices and wondered whether one mistake pushed you outside my plan. My beloved child, I am not so limited. I can redirect a willing heart. I can teach you through wrong turns. I can restore what fear delayed. Your mistake may have consequences, but it does not make you unreachable. This moment matters because you are finally quiet enough to hear what pressure has been drowning out. You have spent so much time responding to demands that your own soul became difficult to hear. You knew you were tired, but you did not know how deeply. You knew something needed to change, but you kept postponing the conversation with yourself. That is why I asked you to stop. Stillness creates room for truth. It allows you to notice what you have been carrying, what you have been avoiding, and what you truly need. I did not bring you here to make you more afraid. I brought you here to help you recognize the warning signs of a heart that has lived too long without rest, support, and honest connection. My beloved child, you may have become skilled at saying, "I am fine." Those words helped you move through conversations without explaining everything. But sometimes they also became a door you closed against the help you needed. You told yourself no one would understand. You feared being judged, pitied, or becoming another person's burden. so you remained silent and kept functioning. I understood every silence. I knew that your strength was sometimes survival wearing a calm face. I knew the difference between peace and emotional exhaustion. I knew when you were truly resting and when you had simply become too tired to feel. Nothing about your inner life was hidden from me. You were brought here to hear that being seen does not make you weak. Needing help does not make you a failure. Telling the truth about your limits does not remove your dignity. I created people for relationship support, encouragement, and shared responsibility. Even Moses needed others to stand beside him when the battle lasted longer than his arms could endure. There are people I may use to help you, but first I must help you believe that receiving is allowed. You have become comfortable being the giver. You know how to listen, solve, support, and remain available. Receiving care feels less familiar. It may even make you uncomfortable because it requires trust. But my beloved child, love is not complete when it can only move outward. Your heart must also learn to receive. You were also brought here because your life still carries purpose beyond the pain you are facing. The pressure has narrowed your vision until each day became about getting through. I do not condemn you for surviving. Survival protected you for a season, but I am beginning to widen your vision again. There is more to your life than managing fear, repairing damage, and waiting for the next problem. There are gifts within you that exhaustion has covered, but not destroyed. There is compassion that can become shelter for someone else. There is wisdom growing through lessons you never wanted to learn. There is courage you have not yet recognized because you keep comparing it with louder forms of strength. I see what is still alive inside you. My beloved child, do not rush to understand everything today. You were brought here to receive one truth at a time. First, you needed to stop. Now you need to know that you are seen and that this moment has purpose. The next truth will answer the question your heart has been asking beneath all the others. You have wondered whether help is still far away, whether you must become stronger before it comes, or whether you already missed the answer. Stay close. The help you asked for has not been forgotten. In the next part, I will show you that the response began before you could see it, and that you do not have to earn what my love has already set in motion. My beloved child, I told you that the help you asked for has not been forgotten. The response did not begin when you noticed a change. It began when your heart finally admitted that you could not carry everything alone. The moment you turned toward me with honesty, I began arranging what you could not yet see. I know where you are, what you need, and how to guide you without crushing your heart. You expected help to arrive with a loud sign, a sudden answer, or one perfect person appearing at the right door. But often, my help begins quietly. It may begin as a clear thought after confusion. It may begin as courage to make one necessary call. It may begin as wisdom to leave what keeps harming you. It may begin as peace that enters before the situation changes. My beloved child, do not dismiss small beginnings. Elijah expected to recognize me in windfire and shaking ground, but my voice came through a gentle whisper. In the same way, the help I send may not look dramatic at first, but it can still change the direction of your life. You have asked me for strength, and I have been strengthening your ability to tell the truth. You have asked me for protection, and I have been teaching you to notice what drains your peace. You have asked me for guidance, and I have been making certain paths feel less attractive than before. You have asked me for healing, and I have been bringing old pain to the surface so it can finally receive care. This is why you must not measure my response only by what has already become visible. A letter can be sent before it reaches the house. A seed can be planted before the ground breaks open. A door can be prepared before you arrive at the hallway. My beloved child, movement can be real, long before evidence becomes obvious. I know you have waited long enough to become cautious. I am not asking you to force excitement. I am asking you to remain open. Hope does not have to shout. Sometimes hope is simply the decision not to close the door before the answer has time to arrive. The help I send will not always come in the form you imagined. It may come through the Holy Spirit giving you clarity. It may come through a trustworthy person who listens without judgment. It may come through a doctor, counselor, pastor, friend, employer, teacher, or family member. It may come through a new opportunity, a changed plan, a practical resource, or the courage to ask for support. I am not restricted by your preferred picture of rescue. If you expect help only from one person, you may overlook the answer arriving through another direction. If you expect only a miracle, you may dismiss the wisdom of a practical step. If you expect only comfort, you may resist the correction that leads toward freedom. My beloved child, the help I send will agree with truth. It will not ask you to abandon wisdom, integrity, or healthy boundaries. It will not manipulate you with fear. It will not demand that you become dependent on someone who wants control over you. My help brings greater clarity, responsibility, safety, honesty, and peace. Learn to test what appears before you. There are times when the answer will be an open door. There are also times when the answer will be a closed one. You may call a closed door rejection, while I call it rescue. Not every loss means help did not come. Sometimes help arrives by removing what would have cost you more later. Think of Joseph in prison. The answer to his dream did not appear immediately, yet every season was connecting him to people skills and wisdom he would later need. He could not see the whole arrangement from the cell. My beloved child, you may also be standing in a chapter that makes little sense while I connect details beyond your view. Your part is not to control every detail. Your part is to stay honest, awake, and willing. Ask me what step belongs to you today. Perhaps you need to reply to the message, make the appointment update, the application, ask for advice, rest your body, or speak the truth. At the same time, do not rush from panic. Help that comes from me does not need desperation to become real. If you feel forced to decide immediately because fear says, this is your only chance, pause. Let your breathing slow. Ask whether the choice protects your peace, dignity, and responsibilities. My guidance can survive a moment of careful prayer. My beloved child, receiving help may feel uncomfortable because you have survived by becoming self-sufficient. You learned not to expect anyone to stay. You learned to solve problems before others noticed them. You learned to say you needed nothing because disappointment felt worse than exhaustion. But the habits that helped you survive can make receiving difficult. I will not tear those defenses away suddenly. I will teach you slowly. You can begin by accepting one honest conversation. You can let someone pray with you. You can say, I do not know what to do. You can receive a meal, a ride, advice, or time to rest without promising to repay everything immediately. Receiving is not weakness, it is part of relationship. Still keep discernment. Not everyone who offers help is safe. You are allowed to observe consistency. You are allowed to ask questions. You are allowed to move slowly. Trust is not built by pressure. It is built when words and actions continue to agree over time. I will never shame you for using wisdom after what you have endured. My beloved child, some of the help already sent is happening within you. You are more aware than before. You recover from certain triggers more quickly. You recognize when a thought is false. You notice when your body needs rest. You are beginning to ask for what you need. These changes may look small, but they are evidence that you are no longer standing where you once stood. Do not call yourself forgotten because the entire answer has not arrived. I am still working. I am still guiding. I am still preparing people, opportunities, understanding, and courage. The response may unfold in stages because lasting restoration often needs room to become stable. Stay open without becoming anxious. Take the next wise step without trying to force the whole future. Let me surprise you with forms of care you did not expect. The help you asked for has already been set in motion, and each part will arrive with the grace needed for that moment. But before you can fully recognize what I am doing, you need to know why I responded with such tenderness. I did not overlook a single part of your pain. Stay close, my beloved child. In the next part, I will show you that every tear, every hidden battle, and every quiet act of endurance was seen. My beloved child, I told you that every tear and every hidden battle was seen. Now I want you to understand how completely I saw you. I did not only notice the moments when you cried. I saw the tears that stayed in your eyes because you were in a room where you could not let them fall. I saw the ache you swallowed so no one would ask questions you were too tired to answer. I saw the mornings when you sat on the edge of the bed and gathered enough strength to stand. I saw you wash your face, fix your expression, and walk into the day as though your heart was not heavy. Other people saw you functioning. I saw the cost of every ordinary step. My beloved child, I saw the nights when your thoughts became louder than the room. You replayed conversations, imagined outcomes, and tried to solve problems that had no answer. You were exhausted but unable to rest. I was there when your body was still but your mind was running. I saw how often you carried other people while needing someone to carry you. You listened to their fears, you answered their calls, you offered encouragement. You showed up when your own strength was thin. You did not always do this because you felt strong. Sometimes you did it because helping others felt easier than admitting how much help you needed. You became skilled at saying that you were fine. You learned how to smile, change the subject, and keep the conversation moving. The people around you may have believed the calm face you offered them. I did not mistake your performance for peace. I knew when your smile was kindness, and I knew when it was armor. My beloved child, I saw the private battles with fear, shame, anger, loneliness, and disappointment. I saw when an old memory returned. I saw when one careless comment reopened a wound you thought had closed. I saw when you questioned your worth because someone failed to value your heart. None of those moments were invisible to me. The psalmist wrote that I keep account of tears. That does not mean I watch your pain like a cold recorder. It means your sorrow matters to me. Each tear tells a story. Some came from loss. Some came from betrayal. Some came from carrying responsibility too long. Some came because you were tired of being the strong one. I understood the language of everyone. I saw the prayers that never became complete sentences. You opened your mouth, but grief had taken the words. You sat in silence and wondered whether silence counted as prayer. My beloved child, I heard the prayer beneath your breathing. I knew the need beneath the ache. You did not have to translate your pain for me. Remember Hagar in the wilderness. She felt unseen, cast aside, and uncertain about how she would continue. Yet I met her there, and she discovered that I am the God who sees. Her desert did not hide her from my attention. Your desert did not hide you either. There were moments when you believed you were alone because no human being knew the full story. But being unknown by people is not the same as being unknown by me. I knew what happened before you learned how to explain it. I knew which part hurt most. I knew what you blamed yourself for and what was never yours to carry. My beloved child, I also saw the quiet victories. I saw when you chose not to send the angry message. I saw when you walked away from an argument because peace mattered more than being right. I saw when you returned to prayer after feeling disappointed. I saw when you apologized. I saw when you set a boundary, even though guilt followed you for hours. Do not measure victory only by dramatic change. Sometimes victory is getting through the afternoon without returning to an old habit. Sometimes it is making the appointment you kept postponing. Sometimes it is telling one trusted person the truth. Sometimes it is resting before your body forces you to stop. I saw every small act of courage. You have wondered whether any of this mattered because no one applauded. My beloved child, hidden faithfulness still matters. A root grows in darkness before anyone sees the tree. The strength formed in secret will support what becomes visible later. I was not waiting for a public result before valuing your private obedience. I saw when you felt ashamed of doubt. You thought real faith should never ask hard questions, but doubt did not make me turn away. Your questions showed that part of you was still searching for truth. Even when you were confused, you kept turning toward me. That movement mattered. I saw the days when you felt nothing. No comfort, no inspiration, no clear answer. You still continued. You got dressed. You completed what you could. You whispered my name, even when it felt distant. My beloved child, faithfulness without feeling is still faithfulness. There were losses you did not fully grieve because life demanded that you keep moving. You told yourself there would be time later. Then later became another responsibility, another emergency, another season of helping someone else. I want to give your heart permission to grieve what it lost. Healing does not require you to rush past sorrow. Bring me the version of the story you never told. Bring me the anger you felt guilty for feeling. Bring me the disappointment you were afraid sounded ungrateful. I am not threatened by the truth. I already know it. Honesty will not push me away. It will let my comfort reach the places where pretending has kept the door closed. My beloved child, none of your pain was proof that you were unloved. None of your tears were evidence that you had failed. You were hurting because something mattered, because you had limits, because you were human, because the world is not yet free from brokenness. I did not condemn you for feeling the weight of what was real. I stayed near when you could not feel me. I guarded what remained alive inside you. I kept a small place of hope from going completely dark. You may call that survival. I call it grace working quietly. One day, you will look back and recognize that you were held in ways you did not understand. You will see how strength arrived through a conversation, how protection came through a delay, how comfort entered through a simple kindness, and how wisdom grew through pain you never would have chosen. For now, let this be enough. You were seen, completely, tenderly, without judgment. Every tear mattered, every hidden battle mattered, every quiet act of endurance mattered. And if I saw all of it, you may still wonder why I sometimes seem so silent. Stay close, my beloved child. In the next part, I will show you that my silence was preparation, not abandonment, and that even in the quiet, I was working with more care than you could see. My beloved child, you asked why I seemed silent if I saw every tear and every hidden battle. You wondered why I did not answer sooner, why I allowed the room to remain quiet, and why the road stayed unclear when you needed direction most. I understand that question. Silence can feel like distance when your heart is already tired, but my silence was never abandonment. It was preparation filled with purpose and care. There is a difference between being left alone and being formed in a quiet place. Abandonment says no one is coming. Preparation says something is being built. Abandonment leaves the heart without purpose. Preparation works carefully beneath the surface, even when nothing appears to change. My beloved child, while you were asking where I was strengthening what would need to carry the next season of your life. Think of a seed beneath the soil. From above, the ground looks unchanged. There is no color, no movement, and no proof that life is present. Yet beneath the surface, the seed is opening. Roots are reaching downward before anything rises upward. If the plant appeared before the roots were ready, it would not survive the first strong wind. The hidden work is not delay without meaning. It is protection for what is coming. You wanted visible answers, but I was building invisible strength. You wanted the door to open, but I was teaching you how to recognize which doors were safe. You wanted the pain removed, but I was helping you understand the pattern that kept leading you back toward it. You wanted immediate relief, but I was forming discernment, patience, courage, and boundaries that would protect your future. My beloved child, I did not enjoy watching you hurt. I was not standing far away testing how much pain you could endure. I was near guiding the process with more tenderness than you could feel at the time. Some lessons could not be rushed because the habits beneath them had grown deep. Some healing had to move slowly because your heart had learned to protect itself for years. Remember Moses in the wilderness. He spent many years far from the place where he believed his purpose would unfold. To others, that season may have looked wasted, but in the quiet, I was teaching him how to lead, how to listen, how to endure, and how to care for what was placed in his hands. The desert was not the end of his story. It was the place where his character became ready for the assignment ahead. Your wilderness has also taught you things comfort never could. It showed you what drains your spirit. It revealed the difference between attention and love. It taught you that saying yes to everyone can become a way of abandoning yourself. It showed you how quickly fear can speak and how patiently truth must be chosen. These lessons were costly, but they were not empty. My beloved child, some of the silence protected you from answers you were not ready to carry. If I had given you what you asked for when you first demanded it, you might have entered the next season with the same wounds, the same fear, and the same need for approval. The gift could have become another burden. I was not withholding goodness. I was preparing you to receive it without losing yourself. There were also moments when I was answering, but the answer did not look like what you expected. You asked for a person to stay, and I gave you the strength to let them go. You asked for one door to open, and I closed it before it could lead you deeper into confusion. You asked me to change someone else, and I began changing the way you responded. You called it silence because the answer arrived in another form. Do not be ashamed of the times you doubted me. Doubt is not always rebellion. Sometimes it is a wounded heart asking whether it is safe to trust again. I saw you question, cry, and return. I saw you step away for a moment, then whisper my name again. My beloved child, the fact that you returned mattered. Your questions did not frighten me. They brought the honest parts of you into our conversation. You have thought faith should always feel certain. But faith is often a trembling hand reaching toward me in the dark. It is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to keep turning toward truth while fear is still speaking. You did that more often than you realize. Even when you said you had little faith, you kept looking for me. That searching was faith moving quietly. My beloved child, the silent season also taught you to recognize my voice without depending on constant signs. At first, you wanted dramatic confirmation. You wanted every decision made obvious, but slowly you began to notice gentler guidance, a pause before speaking, a lack of peace around one choice, a clear thought that remained after prayer, a trusted voice confirming what your spirit already sensed. You were learning to hear me more deeply. I know the quiet felt long. I know you watched other people receive answers while your own questions remained open. Comparison made the waiting heavier. You wondered whether they were more worthy, more faithful, or more loved. They were not. Their path was simply different. I was not measuring your life against theirs. I was shaping you according to what your own journey required. Do not call yourself behind. Preparation has its own timing. Bread taken from the oven too early may look complete on the outside while remaining unfinished within. I care too much about what I am building in you to rush the process for the sake of appearance. I want what grows in you to last. My beloved child, the silence is not proof that nothing is happening now. Even today, I am connecting lessons, healing memories, refining desires, and making certain truths clearer. You are becoming less willing to accept confusion as love. You are becoming more honest about your limits. You are learning that peace is not weakness. These are signs of movement. One day you will look back and see that the season you called empty was full of hidden work. You will recognize how a delay protected you, how a loss redirected you, and how a quiet period strengthened you. You will not celebrate the pain itself, but you will understand that pain did not get the final word. For now, let this truth rest in your heart. I did not leave you. I was preparing you. I was not ignoring your prayer. I was shaping the answer and the person who would receive it. I was not punishing you. I was forming strength where fear once lived. And now that you understand the quiet differently, I want to speak about the prayer you thought was too small to matter. Stay close, my beloved child. In the next part, I will show you that your quietest prayer reached me, and that honesty carried more weight than perfect words ever could. My beloved child, I told you that your quietest prayer reached me. Now I want you to understand what I heard in that moment. You may remember only a tired breath, a broken sentence, or my name spoken so softly that no one else could hear, but I heard the cry beneath it. I heard the fear, the exhaustion, the longing, and the part of you that still hoped I was near. You thought prayer had to sound strong. You believed you needed the right words, a calm mind, and enough faith to speak with confidence. Yet some of your truest prayers came when you had none of those things. They came when your thoughts were scattered, your body was tired, and your heart could only say, "Help me." My beloved child, that was prayer. A sigh can become prayer when it rises from honesty. Tears can become prayer when words have disappeared. Silence can become prayer when your heart is turned toward me. I do not measure prayer by length, volume, or beauty. I receive the truth carried inside it. There were nights when you started to pray but could not finish. You sat in the dark and stared at the ceiling. You tried to explain what hurt, but every sentence felt too small. Finally, you whispered, "My name," and let the silence continue. You wondered whether that counted. It did. I understood what you could not organize. I knew which memory had returned. I knew which decision frightened you. I knew why your chest felt tight and why you were tired of being asked whether you were okay. Nothing was missing from your prayer simply because you could not say it clearly. Remember Hannah when she prayed from a place of sorrow. Her lips moved, but her voice could barely be heard. Someone watching her misunderstood what was happening, but I did not misunderstand. I saw a heart pouring out what it could no longer carry. My beloved child, I still recognize that kind of prayer. People may judge what they cannot understand. They may think your faith should look louder, steadier, or more confident. They may offer quick answers because they are uncomfortable with grief. But I do not rush you past what is real. I meet you inside it. Your quiet prayer mattered because it was honest. You were not performing. You were not trying to impress anyone. You were simply a child reaching for a father in the dark. That honest turning opened a place in you where comfort, wisdom, and help could begin to enter. My beloved child, prayer does not force my hand. It does not buy my attention. You do not earn my care by repeating the same words enough times. I loved you before you asked. I was near before you noticed. Prayer does not make me become willing. Prayer helps your heart become open to the love and guidance I am already giving. This is why you can come without pretending. Tell me when you are angry. Tell me when you feel disappointed. Tell me when you are afraid that nothing will change. Tell me when you do not understand my timing. I am not threatened by your questions. Honest questions keep the conversation open. Do not confuse honesty with disrespect. You can speak truthfully and still remain humble. You can say, "Father, I do not understand, but I am still here." You can say, "I am hurt, but I do not want bitterness to lead me." You can say, "I am afraid, but I am willing to take the next step with you." My beloved child, even when you cannot feel faith, you can practice faithfulness. Faithfulness may look like returning for one more conversation. It may look like opening the Bible when your mind feels numb. It may look like sitting quietly for a few minutes instead of reaching for another distraction. It may look like asking someone trustworthy to pray beside you. You do not need to create a spiritual performance. Begin where you are. Speak one true sentence. Breathe. Listen. Let the silence become a place of companionship instead of a room of fear. Sometimes my answer will come as peace before explanation. Sometimes it will come as a thought that brings clarity without panic. Sometimes it will come through a passage you have read before but suddenly understand differently. Sometimes it will come through another person's wisdom. Sometimes it will come as strength to do what you already know is right. My beloved child, do not reject an answer because it looks ordinary. You may ask for direction and receive the courage to make a phone call. You may ask for healing and feel led to seek wise care. You may ask for provision and notice an opportunity that requires effort. You may ask for peace and realize you must create a boundary. Prayer is not an escape from responsible action. Prayer brings you close enough to receive wisdom for action. It quiets the noise so you can recognize what belongs to you and what must be released into my care. There are things you can do, and there are things only I can hold. Your task is not to confuse the two. Ask me for courage where action is needed. Ask me for surrender where control is impossible. Both require faith. My beloved child, you have sometimes repeated the same request because fear told you I had forgotten. Repetition does not offend me. You may return as often as you need, but each time you return, let prayer become more than panic. Let it also become remembrance. Remember how I carried you before. Remember the person who called at the right time. Remember the strength that appeared after you thought you had none. Remember the door that closed and later proved protective. Remember the morning when you expected despair but found enough courage to continue. Remembrance strengthens trust. It does not deny your current need. It reminds your heart that this is not the first place where I have met you. My beloved child, there may still be days when prayer feels dry. Do not assume dryness means distance. A relationship is not measured only by emotion. A child can sit quietly beside a loving father without filling every moment with words. Presence still matters. Come to me when you feel deeply, and come when you feel nothing. Come when hope is strong, and come when hope is only a thread. Come when you understand, and come when you are confused. I am not waiting for a better version of you. Your quietest prayer reached me because I was already close enough to hear it. You did not need to shout across a great distance. I was nearer than your fear allowed you to believe. Now let that truth steady you. The prayer was heard. The response did not remain still. Something began moving with wisdom, purpose, and care. Stay close, my beloved child. In the next part, I will show you how the help I am sending moves with precision and why you do not need to force what I am already arranging. My beloved child, I told you that your prayer was heard, and the response did not remain still. It does not wander or arrive carelessly. It does not depend on luck. I move with purpose. I guide with precision. I know what your heart needs, what your situation can hold, and what timing will protect the answer and the person receiving it. You may imagine help as one sudden event. You picture a door opening, a problem disappearing, or someone arriving with every solution. Sometimes I work that way, but often my help unfolds through connected steps. One conversation prepares another. One closed door redirects you. One small decision protects you from a larger mistake. What looks separate may already be working together in my hands. My beloved child, I see the whole road while you see only the next few feet. You may not understand why a plan failed or an opportunity slowed down, I ask you not to decide that disappointment means I stopped leading you. A delay can hold protection. A change can carry direction. A pause can keep you from entering before your heart is ready. Think about Abraham sending his servant to find a wife for Isaac. The servant prayed for guidance, then watched carefully. It appeared through character, kindness, willingness, and confirmation. My guidance often carries that pattern. It does not only excite you, it also agrees with wisdom. The help I send will never require you to abandon truth. It will not ask you to ignore warning signs, excuse repeated harm, or silence wisdom. My beloved child, something can look impressive and still be wrong for your life. Learn to notice what produces honesty, responsibility, peace, and freedom. Do not confuse peace with the absence of difficulty. A right step may still require courage. A healthy boundary may still make someone unhappy. Peace is not always comfort. Sometimes peace is the quiet knowing that you are doing what is true while the outcome remains uncertain. My beloved child, I may answer through people, but no person should take my place. The right helper will not demand worship, dependence, or blind trust. They will respect your voice and encourage wisdom. They will not make you smaller to feel important. The help I send supports your growth. It does not replace your responsibility. Sometimes, my help will come through a professional you did not expect to need. It may be a doctor who listens, a counselor who helps you name a pattern, a teacher who gives direction, or an employer who sees an ability you overlooked. Do not reject ordinary tools because you expected a supernatural sign. I can place grace inside practical care. There will also be moments when my help comes from within. I may give you courage to say no. I may bring a forgotten truth back to mind. I may help you notice tension around a situation. I may give you enough calm to wait before answering. These interchanges are not small. They are part of the rescue. My beloved child, precision means I know what should arrive and what should not. I know when comfort is needed and when correction is more loving. I know when you need rest and when you need to act. I know when a relationship needs patience and when distance is necessary. You may want one kind of help, while I give another that serves you more deeply. Do not force what I have not confirmed. Fear will tell you every opportunity is your final chance. Loneliness will tell you any attention is better than waiting. Exhaustion will tell you to choose the fastest relief. But haste can make you accept what peace would warn you about. Slow down, ask questions, observe patterns. Let time reveal what excitement tries to hide. My beloved child, I am not asking you to become suspicious of everyone. I am teaching you discernment. Discernment does not live in panic. It watches patiently. It listens without becoming naive. It remains kind without surrendering boundaries. It allows trust to grow through consistent actions rather than urgent promises. The help moving toward you may require your participation. You may need to answer the call, complete the form, attend the appointment, make the budget, tell the truth, or step away from what drains you. I will guide you, but I will not always do for you what love is strengthening you to do with me. Remember how I led Israel through the wilderness with enough light for each part of the journey. They were not given the entire route at once. They were given guidance for the day. My beloved child, you may want the full map, but daily direction will keep you close. One clear step is enough when I am the one leading. You have sometimes delayed action because you wanted complete certainty. But certainty is not always available before obedience. There are moments when wisdom, prayer, counsel, and peace agree strongly enough for you to move. You do not need to know every result. You need to know the next faithful step. At other times, your faithful step will be waiting. Waiting is not always inactivity. You can prepare while you wait. You can learn. You can heal. You can organize what is already in your hands. You can become ready for the responsibility connected to the answer. My timing is not an excuse to remain passive. It is an invitation to prepare without forcing. My beloved child, some answers arrive in stages because your heart needs time to adjust. You have lived in survival for so long that sudden peace may feel unfamiliar. You may question good things because disappointment trained you to expect loss. I will not shame that caution. I will teach you to receive slowly, wisely, and without running away from what is healthy. Look back. You can already see places where precision protected you. A plan changed. A person revealed their character. A delay gave you time to notice what you had missed. A conversation arrived before a decision. At the time, you felt frustrated. Later, you understood that I was not blocking your life. I was guarding it. The same care is working. I am not confused about your address, your history, or your need. I know how to reach you. I know how to confirm what matters. I know how to close what would harm you and open what can help you grow. You do not need to chase my help as though it might lose its way. Stay attentive, stay honest. Take the step that belongs to you and release the part you cannot control. Let purpose replace panic. Let wisdom replace urgency. Let my peace become the measure you return to. My beloved child, the help is moving with purpose and precision, but this is not the first time my care has surrounded you. Before you recognized the answer, before you understood the danger, and before you found words to pray, I was already near. Stay close. In the next part, I will show you that you were never fighting alone, even in the battles no one else could see. My beloved child, before you recognized the answer, understood the danger, or found words to pray, I was already near. Now let me speak to the part of you that believes you fought alone. You did not. There were moments when no one understood what was happening, but my presence did not depend on awareness. I stayed with you in places no one else could enter. I was there in the room where your thoughts became heavy. I was there when fear repeated the same warning until it sounded like truth. I was there when you tried to sleep, but your body remained tense, as though danger were still standing at the door. My beloved child, you were not abandoned in those hours. You were being held more quietly than you knew. You may think the only reason you survived was because you forced yourself to keep going. I honor the strength you used, but your strength was not the story. There were days when courage appeared after you thought it was gone. There were conversations that came before you reached the edge. There were delays that kept you from greater harm. My care was present in those details. Remember Elisha and his servant when an army surrounded them. The servant saw only the danger in front of him, not the protection already around them. Then his eyes were opened, and he discovered that isolation was not the whole truth. My beloved child, you have also seen visible pressure without seeing the care surrounding your life. I do not tell you this so you will become careless. I do not want you to ignore danger, refuse wise help, or pretend every outcome will be easy. I am telling you this so fear will stop claiming that you stand alone. You still need wisdom, boundaries, practical support, and trustworthy people. My presence does not remove your responsibility. It gives you courage to carry it without panic. Some of your battles were external. A relationship became unsafe. A financial burden grew. A door closed. A diagnosis changed your plans. A responsibility arrived before you felt ready. Other battles were hidden. Shame spoke against your worth. Regret replayed old decisions. Loneliness convinced you that no one would stay. You fought thoughts that no one else could hear. My beloved child, I saw both kinds of battle. A quiet battle can drain the heart as deeply as a public crisis. You may have looked calm while fighting for the will to continue. You may have completed ordinary tasks while carrying extraordinary pressure. I knew the difference between an easy day and a day you survived through grace. There were times when you could not pray and you felt guilty. Your mind was too tired to form sentences. Your emotions were too tangled to name. You sat in silence and wondered whether I had turned away. I had not. My spirit met you in weakness. Even when you could not carry the prayer, you were not outside my care. Think about the Israelites standing at the sea with danger behind them and water ahead. They could not create a path by their own strength. They needed direction, courage, and a way that only I could open. Yet before the waters moved, I placed my presence between them and what pursued them. Protection came before the road became visible. My beloved child, this has happened in your life more than you realize. I protected your heart before you understood the pattern. I slowed you down before you could see what haste would cost. I allowed discomfort to expose what comfort had hidden. I gave you uneasiness around certain choices, not to torment you, but to help you pay attention. Not every painful event was sent by me. The world contains broken choices, human selfishness, illness, loss, and consequences. I do not call good, but I can meet you inside what I did not desire for you. I can protect what remains, guide the next step, and bring meaning from places where harm tried to leave only emptiness. You have asked why I did not prevent everything. My beloved child, I know this question carries grief. I will not answer it with a shallow phrase. Some mysteries remain painful. Faith does not require you to call evil good. It asks you to trust that evil does not have complete authority over your story. What wounded you may affect you, but it does not own your future. I was with you when you made mistakes too. My presence did not disappear because you chose poorly. I corrected, warned, and invited you back. Sometimes protection looked like conviction. Sometimes love allowed you to feel the weight of a choice, so you would stop walking toward the same harm. Correction was not rejection. It was guidance calling you home. My beloved child, there were also people I used to stand beside you. A friend who listened, a stranger who offered kindness, a family member who helped without knowing the whole story, a counselor who gave language to your pain, a doctor who took your concerns seriously. Do not separate these forms of care from my presence. I often answer through willing hands. I remained when the room emptied. I remained when the message was not answered. I remained when someone changed their promise. I remained when you had to rebuild trust in your own judgment. My beloved child, my presence does not disappear when circumstances become complicated. You may feel me strongly one day and feel nothing the next, yet I remain the same. Feelings reveal what is happening inside you, but they do not decide whether I am near. You were never fighting alone because I kept calling you toward life. I placed truth in your path. I gave your body signals when something was wrong. I preserved your ability to care after disappointment. I kept a small desire for healing alive. You may have thought that desire was weak, but it was enough to help you take another step. My beloved child, let your shoulders rest. You do not need to prove that you can face everything alone. Ask for support where support is needed. Tell the truth to someone safe. Let wise people stand with you. Allow prayer treatment, rest planning, and community to become part of the protection around your life. I am still with you in the battle that has not ended. I am not only the God of stories you survived in the past, I am present in the question that remains open today. I am giving enough light for the next step, enough wisdom for the next decision, and enough grace for the next breath. You were never fighting alone, my beloved child. My presence was beside you. My truth was calling you, and my care was working through more channels than you could see. And because you kept walking through those unseen battles, there is something else I need you to understand. Stay close. In the next part, I will show you that your endurance was seen, remembered, and honored even when no one knew how much it cost you to continue. My beloved child, I told you that your endurance was seen, remembered, and honored even when no one knew how much it cost you to continue. Now I want you to see your journey differently. You have often judged yourself by the days you felt weak, but I also saw the days you kept moving while weakness was still present. I saw the mornings when getting out of bed felt like climbing a hill. I saw you place your feet on the floor, take one breath, and begin again. No one applauded that moment. No one understood how much courage it required. But I understood. What looked small to others was a quiet victory in my sight. My beloved child, endurance is not always loud. Sometimes it is answering one necessary message. Sometimes it is preparing a meal when grief has taken your appetite. Sometimes it is returning to work with a tired mind. Sometimes it is refusing to return to a place that keeps harming you. Sometimes it is choosing rest before exhaustion becomes collapse. You thought endurance meant never breaking down. It does not. Endurance means you allowed yourself to cry and still did not surrender your whole future to the pain. It means you admitted that you were tired and still remained open to help. It means you stumbled, rested, learned, and stood again. I did not honor you because you hid every struggle. I honored the honesty that slowly replaced hiding. I saw when you finally said, "I cannot keep doing this alone." I saw when you told someone safe what was really happening. I saw when you made the appointment, asked for prayer, changed the plan, or stepped away from what was draining your life. My beloved child, there were seasons when your progress felt invisible because you kept measuring it by speed. But growth is not always fast. A wound may stop bleeding before it stops aching. A heart may forgive before it feels safe again. A mind may understand truth before the body learns to relax. Slow healing is still healing. Think of Noah building before there was rain. Each day may have looked repetitive. The work was steady, hidden from the outcome, and difficult to explain. Yet every board mattered. Every act of obedience prepared something that could carry life when the storm arrived. Your repeated choices have also been building something within you. Each time you chose truth over panic, another peace was strengthened. Each time you respected a boundary, trust in your own judgment grew. Each time you returned to me after disappointment, your roots reached deeper. You may not have seen a dramatic change, but you were becoming steadier. My beloved child, I saw the moments when you wanted to quit. I saw how close you came to abandoning a dream, a responsibility, a healing process, or your belief that life could become meaningful again. I do not shame you for reaching that point. Heavy seasons can make even strong hearts tired. What mattered was not that you never wanted to stop. What mattered was that some part of you kept reaching for one more breath, one more conversation, one more morning. Sometimes endurance was not confidence. It was simply refusing to make a permanent decision in a temporary moment of pain. I also saw when you stayed too long in places that harmed you because you confused endurance with loyalty. My beloved child, endurance does not mean accepting endless disrespect, danger, manipulation, or neglect. There are times when leaving is not failure. Leaving can be wisdom. Walking away can be the way you protect the life I entrusted to you. You are not called to prove your faith by remaining where your dignity is repeatedly crushed. You are not required to carry another person's refusal to change. Love can be patient, but love also tells the truth. Forgiveness can release bitterness, while boundaries prevent the same harm from continuing. My beloved child, I honor the endurance that moves toward life, not the endurance that slowly destroys you. I want perseverance to be joined with wisdom. I want courage to be joined with support. I want faithfulness to include care for your body, mind, and spirit. There were days when you compared yourself with people who seemed stronger. You saw their public success and judged your private struggle, but you did not know the whole story behind their appearance, and they did not know the weight behind yours. I never asked you to carry their journey. I asked you to walk faithfully through your own. Do not call yourself weak because someone else moved faster. You were healing from wounds they may never have carried. You were rebuilding trust after disappointment. You were learning to breathe after living under pressure. My beloved child, your pace does not erase your courage. I saw the kindness you preserved. Pain tried to make you hard, yet you still noticed other people. You still offered encouragement. You still cared when it would have been easier to close your heart. I do not mean that you must always give while empty. I mean your capacity to love survived what tried to silence it. That is part of your endurance too. You did not become everything the pain wanted you to become. You may have become cautious, but not completely cold. You may have become tired, but not without hope. You may have become quieter, but truth remained alive inside you. What remained was not accidental. I guarded it. My beloved child, endurance formed wisdom that comfort could not have taught. You can now recognize certain patterns sooner. You understand the value of consistency. You know that words without action cannot sustain trust. You have learned that peace is worth protecting and that rest is not a reward for finishing everything. These lessons might make different choices in the next season. They will help you recognize healthy support. They will help you encourage someone without losing yourself in their pain. The strength formed in hidden places will become useful, invisible ones. But do not turn endurance into another burden. You do not have to keep proving how much you can survive. I am not impressed by endless suffering. I want you to live, receive, rest, and heal. Strength is not only the ability to carry weight. Strength is also the wisdom to put weight down. My beloved child, let yourself receive honor without pressure. You made it through days that demanded more than others knew. You kept returning, you kept learning, you kept choosing life. I saw every step and none of it was wasted. What you survived has become evidence that grace was present, even when your tired heart could not fully recognize its quiet work. Now the journey must move from honoring what you carried to releasing what was never meant to remain on your shoulders. Stay close, my beloved child. In the next part, I will show you that you were never meant to carry this weight alone, and that asking for help is not the end of strength. It is the beginning of shared strength. My beloved child, I told you that asking for help is not the end of strength. It is the beginning of shared strength. Now let me speak to the weight you have carried for so long that it began to feel like part of your identity. You adjusted your whole life around it. You learned how to smile beneath it, work beneath it, and keep moving while it pressed against your heart. Some of that weight came from responsibilities that were truly yours, but some came from fears you were never meant to manage people. You were never meant to rescue. and outcomes you were never meant to control. My beloved child, when everything feels urgent, you begin to treat every burden as your assignment. Not every burden belongs in your hands. You have carried concern for your family decisions about money, questions about health, unfinished conversations, and the fear of disappointing people. You have worried about what might happen tomorrow while trying to survive today. You have rehearsed possibilities until your body reacted as though each one were already real. I see the tension in your shoulders. I know the tiredness behind your eyes. I know how shallow your breathing becomes when your mind begins racing. Your body has been speaking the truth your mouth kept hiding. It has been saying, "This is too much for one person." My beloved child, listen carefully. You are not failing because the weight feels heavy. Heavy things feel heavy. Human limits are not spiritual defects. I created you with a need for rest, support, wisdom, and relationship. You were never designed to carry every responsibility without help and still remain whole. Remember when Moses tried to judge every problem among the people by himself. From morning until evening, he listened, decided, answered, and carried what should have been shared. Jethro saw what Moses could not see clearly anymore. He told him that the work was too heavy and that doing it alone would wear him out. Moses was not weak. He was overloaded. My beloved child, you may also be trying to prove faithfulness by doing what should be divided. You become the strong one before anyone asks whether you have strength left. You fear that if you step back, people will call you selfish or unreliable. But love does not require you to disappear inside other people's needs. Responsibility does not mean becoming available without limits. Compassion does not mean carrying consequences that belong to someone else's choices. You can care deeply and still say, "I cannot do this for you." There are burdens I ask you to carry for a season. There are also burdens I ask you to place down. Wisdom is learning the difference. Your responsibility is to be honest, faithful, and willing. Your responsibility is not to guarantee every outcome. You can prepare carefully and still not control what another person decides. You can offer love and still not force someone to receive it. You can give advice and still not live their life for them. My beloved child, surrender is not carelessness. It is the decision to stop pretending that control belongs to you. Surrender says, "I will do what is mine with integrity, and I will place what is beyond me into your hands." This may need to happen more than once. You may release a concern in prayer, then pick it up again an hour later. Do not condemn yourself. Return. Say, "Father, this belongs with you. Teach my heart to stop carrying what my mind keeps trying to control." Sometimes the weight becomes lighter through prayer. Sometimes it becomes lighter through a plan. You may need to write down the next steps, ask for professional advice, make a budget schedule, an appointment, or divide a large problem into smaller decisions. Practical wisdom can be one of the ways I answer your request for peace. My beloved child, there are also times when you need another person beside you. I know that asking can feel risky. You have shared a need and been ignored. You have trusted someone who promised support, then disappeared when the situation became difficult. Those experiences taught you to expect less from people. They convinced you that depending on anyone would only create another wound. So you became independent even when independence was exhausting. You told yourself it was safer to need nothing. But needing support is not the same as surrendering your judgment. You can observe whether their actions agree with their words. You can receive help without giving someone control over your life. My beloved child, safe support will not shame your limits. It will not rush your healing. It will not use your vulnerability against you. It will help you stand more firmly, not make you smaller. You may need to say, "I need someone to listen, not solve this." You may need to ask, "Can you help me with this task?" You may need to admit, "I am not doing well today." These are not declarations of defeat. They are honest openings through which care can enter. Let people bring the meal. Let someone drive you to the appointment. Let a trusted friend sit beside you while you make the difficult call. Let a counselor help you name the pattern. Let a family member carry one practical responsibility. My beloved child, receiving can feel harder than giving because receiving exposes need, but need does not remove dignity. Even I accepted care during my earthly life. People prepared food, offered shelter, walked beside me, and remained near during difficult hours. Human care can become holy when it is offered freely and received humbly. You do not have to repay every act of kindness immediately. Gratitude is enough for the moment. Allow yourself to be helped before turning the experience into another obligation. Love is not always a debt. Sometimes it is simply a gift. There is another weight you must release. Stop carrying shame for not handling everything better. You made decisions with the understanding and strength you had at the time. Where correction is needed, receive it. Where forgiveness is needed, seek it. But do not punish yourself endlessly for being human. My beloved child, I am not asking you to become passive. I am inviting you into partnership. I will give wisdom, but you must practice it. I will send support, but you must allow yourself to receive it. I will show you what to release, but you must loosen your grip. Begin today with one burden. Name it clearly. Ask yourself, is this mine to act on, mine to share, or mine to surrender? Then take the honest step. You were never meant to carry this weight alone. My presence is with you. My wisdom is available, and healthy support can stand beside you. Let the burden become shared strength. And as you begin releasing what has exhausted you, another fear may surface. You may wonder whether your faith has been too weak or imperfect for me to keep helping you. Stay close, my beloved child. In the next part, I will show you that you did not need perfect faith to be heard, my beloved child. I told you that you did not need perfect faith to be heard. Now let me speak to the part of you that keeps measuring your worth by how certain you feel. You have believed that strong faith never trembles, never questions, and never becomes tired. But faith is not the absence of struggle. Faith is the direction your heart keeps turning when struggle is still present. There were days when you prayed with confidence. There were also days when your prayer sounded like, I do not know what I believe right now, but I am still here. My beloved child, I heard both. I did not value the confident prayer more than the trembling one. Honesty carries a weight that performance never can. You have sometimes thought that doubt canceled everything. You felt one fearful thought and assumed you had failed. You wondered whether a moment of uncertainty closed the door to my help. It did not. Doubt can become dangerous when it hardens into refusal, but doubt can also become a question that brings you closer to truth. Remember the father who brought his suffering child to me and said that he believed, then immediately admitted that he needed help with his unbelief. He did not hide the contradiction inside him. He brought both faith and doubt into the same conversation. I did not reject him for being divided. I met him in honesty. My beloved child, you are allowed to say, I trust you, but I am afraid. You are allowed to say, I believe you are near, but I do not understand what you are doing. You are allowed to say, I want to hope, but disappointment has made hope feel risky. These words do not push me away. They open the room where healing can begin. Perfect faith would have no need to grow. Living faith grows because it is tested, stretched, corrected, and renewed. A muscle becomes stronger through resistance, not by avoiding every strain. In the same way, your trust has been learning how to stand when feelings change. Do not confuse emotional certainty with spiritual maturity. Some days you may feel moved and still avoid what is right. Other days you may feel nothing and still choose obedience. My beloved child, the quiet decision to do what is true when emotion gives you no support can be a powerful expression of faith. You have asked whether your prayers were delayed because you were not spiritual enough. No, I did not wait for you to become impressive. I did not require a perfect routine before listening. I did not turn away because your thoughts wandered, or because you returned to the same fear again. I know how the mind behaves under pressure. I know how trauma can make trust difficult. I know how disappointment can teach the heart to expect another loss. I do not shame you for the ways you learned to protect yourself. I invite you to bring those defenses into my care so they no longer control every decision. My beloved child, faith is not pretending that pain does not hurt. Faith does not call confusion, clarity, or danger safety. Faith looks honestly at what is real and still chooses not to face it without me. It says, this is difficult, but difficulty is not the only truth. It says, I am afraid, but fear will not become my master. There were moments when you thought you had lost faith because you felt angry with me. But anger can exist inside relationship. You were angry because you cared, because you expected me to be near, and because the silence hurt. I would rather receive your honest anger than watch you build distance through polite pretending. Speak to me with respect, but speak truthfully. Tell me what disappointed you. Tell me where you feel confused. Tell me what you hoped would happen. Then stay long enough to listen. Prayer is not only pouring out pain, it is also making room for truth to answer pain. My beloved child, your faith may begin as small as a seed. Do not despise it. A seed does not look like a tree, yet life is already inside it. Your small decision to return to whisper my name, to open your heart, or to take one wise step can carry more life than you realize. I am not asking you to create confidence by force. Confidence grows through remembrance and experience. Look back at the places where I gave enough strength for one day. Remember the conversation that came at the right time. Remember the closed door that later protected you. Remember the courage that appeared after you admitted you had none left. These memories are not proof that every future situation will unfold exactly as you prefer. They are reminders that you have not walked alone. Faith is not trust in a particular outcome. Faith is trust that my presence, wisdom, and love will remain even when the outcome surprises you. My beloved child, do not compare your faith with someone else's public expression. Some people speak loudly, some pray quiet, some worship with visible emotion, some hold hope in silence. I am not measuring volume. I am looking at the heart. The question is not whether you sound strong. The question is whether you are willing to remain open. There may be moments when you need the faith of others beside you. Let them pray when your words are tired. Let a trusted person remind you of truth when your mind is overwhelmed. This is not borrowing faith because yours is worthless. It is allowing community to carry you for a moment. Even the disciples needed one another. They misunderstood, became afraid, and struggled to believe, yet I continued teaching them. I did not discard them each time they failed to understand. I corrected them, restored them, and stayed with them. My beloved child, I am patient with your growth too. Your faith is not proven by never falling. It is revealed when you allow me to help you stand again. It is revealed when shame says hide, but you return. It is revealed when fear says close your heart, but you leave one small opening for truth. You did not earn my attention through spiritual performance. You were heard because you are loved. You were welcomed because you belong. Grace came before your confidence. My care began before your prayer was complete. So release the pressure to feel certain all the time. Bring me the faith you have today, not the faith you wish you had. Bring me the questions, the weariness, the willingness, and the remaining hope. I can work with honesty. I can strengthen what you place in my hands. My beloved child, your imperfect faith was enough to keep the conversation open, and my love was always greater than your uncertainty. But now another question remains. If I heard you, why did the answer take so long? Stay close. In the next part, I will show you that the timing was not a mistake, and that the waiting was doing work you could not yet see. My beloved child, you asked why the answer took so long if I heard you from the beginning. The timing was not a mistake. What felt late to you was not careless to me. I see the whole path. You feel each unanswered day, each delayed decision, and each door that remains closed. I see what must be prepared before the door can open safely. I see what must heal within you, what must change around you, and what must be removed before the next season can carry peace. My beloved child, timing is not only about when something arrives, it is also about whether your heart, your habits, your relationships, and your responsibilities are ready to hold it. A good gift placed into an unprepared life can become another source of confusion. I care not only about giving, I care about what the gift will produce after it comes. Think about David after he was anointed. The oil touched his head long before the throne became his daily reality. Between the promise and the position, he learned patience, courage, restraint, and dependence on me. Yet none of those years erased what I had spoken. They prepared him to carry what had already been placed over his life. Your waiting has also been teaching you how to carry what you asked for. You wanted a new opportunity, but I was strengthening your discipline. You wanted a healthy relationship, but I was teaching you to recognize consistency and protect your boundaries. You wanted peace, but I was exposing habits that kept inviting confusion. You wanted greater responsibility, but I was showing you how to care for what was already in your hands. My beloved child, this does not mean every delay came directly from me. Human choices, broken systems, fear, illness, and consequences can slow the road. I do not ask you to call every painful delay good, but nothing is beyond my ability to meet, redirect, and use. Even when time was affected by what I did not desire, I remained able to guide your next step. You have compared your timing with someone else's. You watched them receive quickly what you had requested for years. You saw their celebration and tried to be happy, but part of your heart quietly asked why they were chosen first. Their road was theirs. Your preparation has its own shape. Do not judge your life by another person's calendar. Comparison removes the details and makes every life look simpler than it is. I am not writing your story as a copy of theirs. You also worried that you were behind. But behind compared with whom I did not create one schedule for every person. Some people begin early and must learn endurance later. Others begin later and carry wisdom they could not have gained sooner. My beloved child, a slower beginning does not mean a smaller purpose. There were things you called missed opportunities that were actually protection. A relationship ended before it could damage you more deeply. A position went to someone else because the environment would have drained your spirit. A plan failed because you were building from fear instead of wisdom. Later, some of those closed doors began to look like mercy. Still, I know not every delay becomes easy to understand. Some waiting leaves questions that remain painful. I will not reduce your grief to a simple lesson. There are things you wanted that did not happen, and there are losses that cannot be made small by a comforting phrase. I am not asking you to pretend that waiting never hurt. My beloved child, you can trust my timing and still grieve what the delay cost you. You can believe I am present and still admit that you are disappointed. Trust is not emotional denial. Trust is bringing the full truth into my presence without allowing pain to decide that I no longer care. While you waited, your capacity was growing in quiet ways. You became more aware of your limits. You learned that urgency is not always guidance. You discovered the value of steady character over exciting promises. You began to notice which environments helped you breathe and which ones kept your body tense. This wisdom will protect what comes next. Waiting also revealed what you were depending on. At times, the answer became so important that you believed you could not be whole without it. You told yourself that peace would begin only after the relationship, the money, the opportunity, the healing, or the explanation arrived. My beloved child, I wanted to give you something deeper than relief. I wanted you to know that your life could still have meaning while one prayer remained unanswered. This does not cancel your desire. It places desire in the right order. You may still prepare work, seek counsel, and knock on doors, but your identity does not have to wait outside the answer. You belong to me now. You have value now. You can receive today's grace while hoping for tomorrow's change. My beloved child, do not spend the waiting only watching the door. Look at what is already in the room. There may be a skill to strengthen a friendship, to appreciate a habit, to rebuild a body that needs care, or a responsibility that deserves attention. Joseph did not know when the prison door would open, but he continued using wisdom, serving faithfully and noticing the needs around him. His circumstances were limited, but his character was still moving. When the moment changed, he was ready to respond. My beloved child, waiting does not mean your life has stopped. There is still faithful work available today. Do not force the future, because waiting feels uncomfortable. A door opened by fear may lead you away from peace. A relationship rushed by loneliness may repeat an old wound. An opportunity accepted without wisdom may cost more than it gives. Let patience protect you from choosing temporary relief over lasting health. At the same time, do not use timing as an excuse to remain passive. If you know the next wise step, take it. Complete the application, make the call, seek treatment, learn the skill. Have the honest conversation. Waiting with me is active. It prepares, listens, and moves when direction becomes clear. My beloved child, you did not miss what I can still place before you. One mistake did not make your future unreachable. One closed chapter did not exhaust my ability to lead. I can redirect, restore, and create new paths where you believed every opportunity had ended. Let this truth settle slowly. The timing was not a mistake. You were not forgotten in the interval. The quiet years were not empty pages. Some protected you, some prepared you, some revealed what needed healing, some taught you to recognize what is healthy when it finally appears. And when the help comes closer, you will not need to explain every wound perfectly before receiving care. Stay close, my beloved child. In the next part, I will show you that the help I send can understand your silence, honor your history, and meet you without demanding that you perform your pain. My beloved child, I told you that the help I send can understand your silence, honor your history, and meet you without demanding that you perform your pain. You will not have to explain every wound perfectly before receiving care. I already know the parts of your story that still feel difficult to name. Some experiences live deeper than language. You may know something hurt yet struggle to describe how it changed you. You may remember the room, the tone of a voice, or the feeling in your body without having one sentence that holds the whole truth. My beloved child, silence does not make your pain less real. You have often said, "I am fine," because the full answer felt too heavy. Sometimes you feared judgment or misunderstanding. Sometimes you were simply too tired to open a story that might take hours to explain. So you offered a short answer and carried the longer truth alone. I understood what remained behind those words. I knew when your silence meant I do not feel safe enough to speak. I knew when it meant I have explained this before and no one listened. I knew when it meant I am afraid that if I begin I will not stop crying. I knew when it meant I do not want to become a burden. My beloved child, the help I send will not force open doors you closed for protection. Healthy care does not rush into closed rooms without permission. It waits, listens, and creates enough safety for truth to emerge slowly. You may speak in pieces. You may pause. You may say, "I am not ready to explain that yet." Think of me meeting the woman at the well. I knew her history before she told me. I did not expose her to shame her. I spoke truth with dignity and patience. I saw the thirst beneath her choices. I offered living water before asking her to face what was true. This is how my care approaches you. I do not reduce you to the worst thing that happened or the choice you regret most. I see the whole person. I see the child who learned to stay quiet, the adult who kept functioning, and the heart that still longs to be known without condemnation. My beloved child, when I send trustworthy people into your life, they will not need a perfect presentation before deciding to care. They may not understand everything immediately, but they will remain patient, ask without pressuring, and listen without turning your story into a debate. Safe people do not make your vulnerability about themselves. They do not become angry because you need time. They do not use what you share as a weapon later. They do not demand access to every part of you in exchange for kindness. They respect boundaries and value your dignity. You have met people who wanted quick trust without earning it. They spoke warmly, made large promises, and became impatient when you stayed cautious. My beloved child, urgency is not proof of love. Trustworthy care remains consistent until your body recognizes safety. You may watch patterns. You may notice whether words and actions agree. You may move slowly. Wisdom is not bitterness. Discernment is not rejection. After what you endured, careful trust can be healthy stewardship. But do not let caution become a permanent wall. A wall built for one dangerous season can block the kindness of another. Ask me to show you the difference between protection and isolation. Protection creates wise doors. Isolation removes every door and calls loneliness safety. My beloved child, healing often begins when one safe person hears one honest sentence. You do not have to tell the entire story. You might begin with, "I have been struggling." You might say, "I need you to listen, not fix this." You might admit, "I am afraid to trust because trust has cost me before." These small sentences can open space for care. The help I send may come through someone trained to understand what ordinary conversation cannot hold. A counselor may help you connect reactions to old wounds. A doctor may help you understand what stress has done to your body. A pastor may help you separate spiritual truth from shame. Seeking this help is not a failure of faith. My beloved child, I can work through wisdom, training, medicine, community, and prayer together. You do not honor me by refusing practical care. You honor me when you receive good help with discernment and gratitude. There will be times when another person misunderstands your silence. They may assume distance means rejection or calmness means you are unaffected. Speak where you safely can. People cannot always know what you have never shared. Healthy support includes honest communication, not mind reading. You can say, "When I become quiet, I may be overwhelmed." You can say, "I need time before answering." You can say, "Please do not pressure me." These words help safe people care for you wisely. My beloved child, the help I send will not make every difficult feeling disappear. It may sit beside you while you learn to feel without being consumed. It may help you breathe through a memory, make a plan, or take one manageable step. Sometimes help is not instant rescue. Sometimes it is steady companionship through the valley. Remember the friends who lowered the paralyzed man through the roof because the crowded doorway could not stop their care. They carried him when he could not carry himself. They found another way when the obvious path was blocked. My beloved child, some forms of love do not merely offer advice, they help carry the weight. You deserve support that does not humiliate you. You deserve truth spoken with compassion. You deserve relationships where your limits are respected and your voice matters. This does not mean every person will respond perfectly. It means you no longer have to call harmful behavior love. Let me teach you what safe care feels like. It may feel unfamiliar. Peace can feel strange to a heart trained by unpredictability. Consistency can feel suspicious when you expect sudden withdrawal. Do not run simply because something healthy feels new. Move slowly, observe, pray, and allow safety to prove itself over time. My beloved child, you do not have to remain hidden forever. Your silence protected you when words felt dangerous, but healing will gradually give you a voice. Not a voice that tells everything to everyone, but one that knows when, where, and with whom truth can be shared. The help I send will understand your silence, but it will also help you rediscover your language. It will remind you that your needs can be named, your boundaries can be spoken, and your story can be told without shame. And as you begin to feel understood, something deeper will start changing. You will no longer spend all your energy merely surviving the day. Stay close, my beloved child. In the next part, I will show you how I am leading you out of survival and into purpose, not by rushing your healing, but by restoring the life that exhaustion tried to bury. My beloved child, I told you that as you begin to feel understood, something deeper will start changing. You will no longer spend all your energy merely surviving the day. I am leading you out of survival and into purpose, not by rushing your healing, but by restoring the life that exhaustion tried to bury. Survival helped you through a season. It taught you how to respond quickly, stay alert, and keep moving when life felt uncertain. It helped you endure days when there was room only for the next task. I do not shame the part of you that learned those skills. That part was trying to protect you. But survival was never meant to become your permanent home. My beloved child, when survival continues too long, the heart begins to believe danger is always near. You wake up braced for bad news. You enter conversations expecting disappointment. You save your energy because you assume another crisis is coming. Even peace can feel uncomfortable because your body has learned to trust tension more than rest. You have called this strength because you kept functioning. But functioning is not the same as living. You can complete every responsibility and still feel absent from your own life. You can answer messages, pay bills, help family, and keep appointments while your joy becomes quieter. My beloved child, I did not create you only to manage problems. I created you to love, build, learn, create, serve, laugh, rest, and become present in the life before you. Purpose does not always begin with a dramatic calling. Sometimes it begins when you care for your body again. Sometimes it begins when you return to a gift you stopped using. Sometimes it begins when you listen with compassion because you understand pain. Sometimes purpose is doing one ordinary thing with honesty and love. Remember Elijah after the struggle on the mountain. He became exhausted, afraid, and convinced he could not continue. I did not begin by giving him a large assignment. I gave him rest, food, and time. Only after his strength returned did I speak about the road ahead. My beloved child, restoration often comes before direction. You have tried to discover purpose while ignoring exhaustion. You asked what you should build, where you should go, and who you should become, while your soul was asking for sleep and care. I am not disappointed by that need. Rest is not separate from purpose. Sometimes rest is the first act of obedience. Begin by noticing what brings life back into you. Notice the conversations that leave you clearer instead of smaller. Notice the work that requires effort but feels meaningful. Notice the desire that returns when fear is not speaking. These signs do not give the whole map, but they can reveal your next step. My beloved child, purpose is not the same as pressure. Pressure says you must prove your pain was useful. Purpose says nothing has to be wasted. Pressure demands that you change the world immediately. Purpose asks what faithful action belongs to today. Maybe today your purpose is to heal. Maybe it is to become honest about what is no longer working. Maybe it is to rebuild a relationship carefully. Maybe it is to finish one task you avoided. Maybe it is to encourage someone without abandoning your needs. Small faithfulness can carry deep meaning. You may believe purpose belongs only to people with platforms, titles, ministries, businesses, or recognition. But much of the work I value happens where few people see it. A parent creating safety at home. A person breaking a harmful family pattern. My beloved child, your purpose is not measured by applause. It is measured by alignment with truth, love, wisdom, and the gifts I placed within you. Some gifts have been hidden under survival. Your creativity became buried beneath urgency. Your curiosity became quiet because every day demanded answers. Your compassion became tired because you gave without receiving. Your courage became difficult to recognize because you compared it with people who seemed fearless. I am bringing them back slowly. You may feel drawn to write, speak, teach, repair, organize, build, nurture, or create again. Do not dismiss these movements because they seem small. A room becomes brighter when one curtain is opened. Your life can begin changing through one honest return to what makes you feel awake. My beloved child, do not rush to turn every gift into income or achievement. Let some parts of you come alive simply because they are alive. Joy does not always need to justify itself. A walk, a song, a conversation, or a quiet hour of learning can remind you that life is more than survival. As you heal, you will discover that purpose includes boundaries. You cannot give your life to every need. You cannot say yes to every request and remain present where I have called you. Purpose requires focus. Focus requires courage to disappoint people who benefited from your lack of limits. This does not make you selfish. It makes you responsible. My beloved child, ask me where your energy belongs. Ask which commitments are fruitful and which are driven by guilt. Ask whether a relationship strengthens truth or keeps you trapped in confusion. Ask what must end so something healthier can begin. Do not be afraid when your life starts feeling unfamiliar. Survival created routines that felt safe because they were known. Purpose may require a different rhythm. You may rest more, speak honestly, choose fewer obligations, and stop chasing approval. You do not need everyone to understand what I am healing. My beloved child, purpose grows through what you endured, but pain is not your identity. You are not only the person who survived betrayal, loss, fear, or exhaustion. Those experiences shaped you, but they do not name your future. I am teaching you to carry wisdom without carrying the wound as your name. One day, what you learned may help someone else. Your calm presence may make another person feel safe. Your boundaries may teach someone that love can be honest. Your story may give language to a person who feels alone. But you do not have to rush into helping. Receive restoration first. Let yourself enjoy peace without expecting it to disappear. Let yourself imagine a future that contains more than recovery. My beloved child, you are allowed to want a meaningful life. You are allowed to hope again. You are allowed to build slowly. The years spent surviving did not disqualify you. They taught you what matters, what costs too much, and what kind of life you no longer want to abandon. Now begin with one step. Choose one act that agrees with the person you are becoming. Purpose often enters through a door called today. I am leading you out of survival and into purpose, but I am not asking you to make this journey alone. The next season will require support, community, and courage to receive help without shame. Stay close, my beloved child. In the next part, I will show you that the season of doing everything alone is ending, and that shared strength will become part of your healing. My beloved child, I told you that shared strength would become part of your healing. Now let me speak to the part of you that learned to do everything alone. You chose it because disappointment taught you that depending on others could hurt more than carrying the burden yourself. You became the person who handled the problem before anyone noticed it. You kept moving. When people asked whether you needed help, you often said no before your heart had time to answer. Independence became protection. My beloved child, I understand how that pattern formed. Someone promised to stay and disappeared. Someone offered support, then made you feel guilty for needing it. After enough moments like these, you decided it was safer to expect nothing. That decision helped you survive, but it also made every road heavier. The season of doing everything alone is ending. It does not mean you should hand your heart to the first person who offers attention. It means I am teaching you that wise connection is possible, that support can be safe, and that receiving help does not make you weak. Remember how Moses stood during the battle while Aaron and Hur held up his tired arms. The victory did not come because Moses pretended he had endless strength. It came while others stood beside him and carried what his body could no longer hold alone. My beloved child, shared strength is not lesser strength. It is strength working as it was designed. You have sometimes believed that needing help would make people respect you less. But healthy people do not lose respect when you tell the truth about your limits. They will not shame you for being human. They will listen, ask, and show up in ways that agree with their words. Safe support is usually steady rather than dramatic. It may look like someone checking on you again after the first conversation. It may look like a person remembering the appointment you were afraid to attend. It may look like practical help, patient listening, honest advice, or quiet presence. Love often proves itself through consistency. My beloved child, learn to notice that consistency. Do not be moved only by large promises. Watch what happens after the emotional moment passes. Does the person remain respectful when you say no? Do they protect what you shared? Do they make room for your voice? Do their actions help you become clearer and stronger? You are allowed to move slowly. Trust does not need to be rushed to be real. A healthy relationship can survive questions, boundaries, and time. Anyone who demands immediate access to your heart is not honoring the healing taking place within it. At the same time, do not reject every open hand because one hand once caused pain. Fear can make all people look like the person who hurt you. My beloved child, wisdom remembers the lesson without assuming the same ending every time. Ask me to help you see each person clearly. Some support will come through friendship, some will come through family. Some may come through a counselor, doctor, pastor, teacher, mentor, or community. I can use many people without making any one person responsible for saving your whole life. Let support become a circle, not a single fragile point. This matters because placing every need on one person can create pressure that no relationship was designed to carry. My beloved child, I want you to have different kinds of support for different needs. One person may listen well, another may offer practical wisdom, another may pray with you, another may help with a task. You also need to learn how to ask clearly. People may care and still not know what you need. You can say, I need you to listen, not fix this. You can say, could you help me with this one task? You can say, I am overwhelmed and need time. Clear requests make space for healthy support. My beloved child, asking does not guarantee that everyone will respond as you hope. Some people may be unable or unwilling. Their answer does not define your worth. It simply gives information about their capacity. Do not turn one refusal into proof that you should never ask again. There will be moments when receiving feels uncomfortable. You may feel the urge to repay kindness immediately. You may worry that accepting help creates a debt. Pause, say thank you. Let the gift remain a gift. Gratitude is not the same as obligation. I am teaching you to receive without losing your freedom. Healthy help does not secretly purchase control over your decisions. It does not keep a record to use against you later. It does not remind you constantly of what was given. My beloved child, love can give and release. You are also learning that togetherness does not require losing yourself. You can belong without abandoning your boundaries. You can care without taking responsibility for every emotion in the room. You can cooperate without silencing your convictions. Connection should not demand the disappearance of your identity. Remember the early believers who shared meals, prayers, resources, and burdens. Their strength did not come from every person becoming the same. It came from different people offering what they had so that no one had to stand completely alone. Community became a place where practical care and spiritual encouragement met. My beloved child, this kind of community may take time to build. Do not become discouraged if it begins with only one trustworthy relationship. A strong shelter can begin with one steady beam. Let quality matter more than quantity. You may also need to become the kind of support you hope to receive. This does not mean returning to overgiving. It means practicing consistency, listening without control, respecting boundaries, and speaking truth with kindness. Healthy connection grows when both people can give and receive. But for now, do not rush into serving from an empty place. Let yourself be supported. Let your body learn that another person can remain present without demanding performance. Let your heart experience care that does not disappear when you become honest. My beloved child, the season of doing everything alone is ending because I am teaching you a new rhythm. In this rhythm, you still take responsibility for your life, but you no longer confuse responsibility with isolation. You still use wisdom, but you no longer call every wall protection. You still remain strong, but strength now includes receiving. Take one small step. Answer the safe message. Tell one trusted person what you need. Accept one practical offer. Join one healthy community. Ask one honest question. You do not need to rebuild your life in a day. As support becomes safer, your mind will no longer have to manage every possibility by itself. The noise will begin to quiet. Decisions will become less tangled. The path ahead will start revealing itself one step at a time. Stay close, my beloved child. In the next part, I will show you that the fog is lifting and clarity is returning. You will not need every answer at once. You will only need enough light to recognize the next faithful step. My beloved child, I told you that you would not need every answer at once. You would only need enough light to recognize the next faithful step. Now let me speak to the confusion that has made every direction look uncertain. The fog is lifting now. Clarity is returning. Not all at once and not through pressure, but gently as your heart learns to breathe again. For a long time, your mind has been working. It tried to predict every outcome, prepare for every disappointment, and protect you from every possible mistake. You called it careful thinking, but much of it was fear wearing the clothes of responsibility. My beloved child, constant analysis cannot create peace when the heart feels unsafe. You have replayed conversations until the meaning became harder to see. You have imagined so many possible futures that the present moment disappeared beneath them. You have asked the same question from every angle, hoping one more thought would remove uncertainty. But clarity does not always come from thinking longer. Sometimes it comes when you stop feeding the noise. That is why support, rest, and prayer matter. A tired mind can turn a small decision into a maze. A frightened heart can read danger into every option. Before you accuse yourself of being confused, notice how exhausted you have been. My beloved child, confusion is not always a lack of wisdom. Sometimes it is a sign that your nervous system has carried too much for too long. Let your body become part of the healing. Sleep when you can. Eat what gives strength. Walk, breathe deeply. Step away from the screen. Sit near a window. Your spirit and body are not enemies. When the body receives care, the mind often becomes quiet enough to notice what was already true. Remember the disciples walking toward Emmaus. Grief had clouded their understanding. I walked beside them, but they did not recognize me. I did not condemn them for failing to see clearly. I stayed, listened, explained, and let understanding return through relationship. My beloved child, I am patient while your vision clears too. You do not need to force revelation. You do not need to chase signs in every detail. My guidance does not require anxiety. What matters can be repeated, confirmed, and tested. Truth remains steady when emotion changes. Wisdom does not disappear because you pause to examine it. My beloved child, clarity often comes by removing what is false before revealing what is next. You may first realize that a relationship is not healthy even before knowing what should replace it. You may recognize that your current rhythm is unsustainable even before discovering a better one. Knowing what must stop is a form of direction. Do not underestimate that kind of clarity. You are beginning to see where guilt has controlled you. You are noticing when someone uses urgency to pressure you. You are recognizing the difference between love and attention, between peace and emotional numbness, between patience and avoidance. These distinctions are evidence that your sight is becoming stronger. My beloved child, you may still feel unsure. Clarity does not mean every question disappears. It means the next honest action becomes more visible. You may not know how the whole relationship will unfold, but you may know that one boundary is needed. You may not know the career path, but you may know that one skill must be strengthened. Ask simpler questions. What is true right now? What is mine to do today? What decision protects integrity? What choice agrees with peace, wisdom, and responsibility? These questions bring you back from imagined futures into the place where obedience can happen. My beloved child, seek wise counsel, but do not collect so many opinions that your own judgment becomes buried. Some people will speak from fear. Some will project their history onto your situation. Some will give advice based on what benefits them. Listen, compare words with truth, and notice whether the counsel creates greater honesty or greater confusion. Good counsel does not control you, it helps you see. You may also need to separate facts from assumptions. Write down what you know, then write what you fear, predict, or imagine. The two lists may look very different. My beloved child, fear often speaks as though possibility were certainty. Clarity returns when you stop treating every frightening thought as fact. There are times when you must decide without complete certainty. Do not let that frighten you. Human life rarely offers perfect information. Wisdom gathers what is available, prays, asks, counsel, observes patterns, and then takes responsibility for a choice. You are not required to know everything before moving. If the choice is wrong, I can redirect you. One imperfect decision does not place you beyond my reach. You have sometimes become paralyzed because you believed one mistake would destroy the entire future. My beloved child, I am a better guide than your fear allows you to imagine. Clarity also grows through action. A path may remain unclear until you take the first responsible step. You may understand the work only after beginning. You may discover whether a community is healthy only after attending. You may learn what a conversation needs only after speaking honestly. Movement can reveal what endless planning cannot. But do not move merely to escape discomfort. Panic wants immediate relief. Clarity can wait long enough to choose wisely. If your body is overwhelmed, pause before sending the message, signing the agreement, ending the relationship, or accepting the offer. A short delay can protect you from a long consequence. My beloved child, you are learning to trust the quiet voice of truth more than the loud voice of fear. Truth does not always shout. It may sound like a simple knowing that remains after the emotion settles. It may say, "This is not safe." It may say, "Apologize." It may say, "Wait." It may say, "Ask for help." It may say, "Begin." The fog is lifting because you are no longer carrying every thought alone. Prayer is making room. Support is bringing perspective. Rest is reducing noise. Boundaries are protecting your attention. Honest action is teaching you that you can move without knowing the whole road. My beloved child, do not demand that clarity arrive as one dramatic moment. Dawn does not become morning in a single flash. Light grows across the horizon and shapes slowly become visible. In the same way, understanding may come in layers. First, you recognize what is false. Then you notice what matters. Then the next step becomes clear. Be grateful for each layer. You are not as lost as you feel. You are learning to see again. The path is not revealing itself because you finally became perfect. It is becoming visible because fear is losing its control over your attention. And as clarity returns, something else will begin to change. The weight that is pressed against your mind, body, and spirit will start to shift. Stay close, my beloved child. In the next part, I will show you that the weight is shifting and hope is rising again, not as fragile emotion, but as strength that has survived the dark. My beloved child, I told you that as clarity returns, the weight pressing against your mind, body, and spirit will begin to shift. Notice what is already changing. The burden may not be completely gone, but something inside you is no longer carrying it in the same way. The pressure is moving. Hope is rising again. For a long time, you lived with your shoulders raised, your breathing shallow, and your thoughts prepared for the next problem. You became so familiar with tension that calm felt strange. My beloved child, your body learned to expect danger even during quiet moments. Now that protection can begin to soften. You may notice it in small ways. One morning you wake up and the first thought is not fear. One conversation ends without leaving your chest tight. One memory returns, but it does not pull you as deeply as before. These are signs that the weight is shifting. Healing often begins before the pain fully disappears. Think of a person learning to walk again after an injury. At first, the movement is slow and uncertain. The body remembers pain, but strength is returning. The first step does not mean the process is finished. It means the process is real. My beloved child, do not despise the first signs of relief because they are not yet complete. A deeper breath matters. A night of better sleep matters. A moment of laughter matters. These are evidence that life is moving within you again. You have sometimes believed that healing should arrive all at once. You imagined one prayer, one conversation, one breakthrough, and then no more struggle. But restoration often comes through layers. One truth creates room for another. One act of courage strengthens the next. This does not mean I am giving you less than enough. It means I am helping your healing become stable. My beloved child, steady restoration teaches your whole life how to live differently. I am not only removing pressure, I am helping you build a rhythm that does not invite the same weight back. Remember the man who had been blind from birth. When I opened his eyes, the change was visible. But there were others I healed through steps, questions, touch, and movement. Not every miracle looked the same. Do not compare your recovery with another person's story. Your healing has its own pace. Some days hope will feel strong. Other days hope may feel like a thin thread. My beloved child, a thin thread can still keep you connected. You only need to remain willing to reach toward life. Hope is not pretending everything will happen exactly as you want. Hope is the belief that pain does not own the final chapter. It is the decision to keep a small opening in your heart for goodness, wisdom, help, and new beginnings. Hope can live beside uncertainty. You have feared hoping because disappointment hurt you before. You told yourself that expecting nothing would protect you. But the absence of hope did not remove pain. It only made the world smaller. My beloved child, I am not asking you to build hope on fantasy. I am asking you to build it on my presence. Outcomes can change. People can choose differently. Plans can fail. But I will remain near. Your hope becomes stronger when it is rooted in who I am. Let hope become practical. Hope may look like making the appointment, applying again, leaving a harmful place, learning a skill, repairing a relationship wisely, or resting long enough to recover strength. Hope takes small steps because it believes tomorrow is worth preparing for. My beloved child, do not wait until you feel completely confident. Confidence often grows after movement begins. You may take the step with trembling hands. Courage is not always calm. Sometimes courage is fear that no longer controls the decision. The weight is shifting because you are no longer holding everything in silence. You have begun to name what hurts. You have allowed support to come closer. You have learned to separate responsibility from control. You are recognizing thoughts that once ruled you. Each change removes part of the burden. You may still carry sadness. Healing does not require you to erase grief. A heart can become stronger while honoring what was lost. My beloved child, tears do not mean hope has failed. Sometimes tears release what the heart no longer needs to hold alone. There will be moments when old heaviness returns. Do not panic. A difficult day does not erase progress. A painful memory does not mean you are back at the beginning. Healing is not a straight road. Sometimes you revisit familiar places with greater wisdom, stronger boundaries, and more support than before. Pain may visit, but it does not have to become your master again. My beloved child, speak gently to yourself during those moments. Do not say, I should be over this. Say, I am still healing and I know more than I knew before. Do not say, nothing has changed. Say, this is hard today, but hard today is not the whole story. The words you repeat matter. They can add weight or create room for grace. Let truth become the language you use with yourself. I am also restoring your ability to receive joy without suspicion. You may have learned to expect that every good moment will be followed by loss, so when something kind happens, part of you holds back. My beloved child, you are allowed to enjoy what is good without predicting its end. Receive the peaceful meal, receive the safe conversation, receive the quiet morning, receive the laughter. Gratitude does not guarantee that life will never hurt again. It allows you to be present for the goodness that exists now. Hope is rising because you are learning that life can hold both grief and beauty. One does not cancel the other. You can remember what hurt and still welcome what heals. You can honor the past without building your home inside it. My beloved child, there is more strength in you now than you recognize. Not the strength that refuses help, but the strength that receives wisely. Not the strength that hides pain, but the strength that tells the truth. Not the strength that controls every outcome, but the strength that acts faithfully and releases the rest. This is mature hope. It has been tested. It does not depend on a perfect day. It knows darkness is real, yet darkness is not eternal. Let the weight continue to shift. Do not pick it up again simply because carrying it feels familiar. When fear returns, pause. When guilt speaks, examine it. When exhaustion rises, rest. When support is offered safely, receive it. You are learning a new way to live. My beloved child, hope is rising again, not as a fragile emotion, but as a rooted strength that survived the night. And as that hope becomes steady, I want to answer one more question hidden beneath your waiting. Stay close. In the next part, I will show you that I heard you the first time and never questioned your value, even when you questioned your own. My beloved child, I told you that I heard you the first time and never questioned your value. Let that truth move deeper than the voices that taught you to measure yourself by delay, rejection, failure, or pain. Your worth was never waiting for an answer to arrive. Your worth was known to me. The first time your heart cried out, I heard you. I did not need you to repeat the same words until I became interested. I did not place your prayer behind the prayers of others. I did not wait for polished words. My beloved child, your need reached me because I was already near enough to hear you. You may have prayed because fear told you that silence meant you had been forgotten. I do not condemn those repeated prayers. I know repetition can be the way a tired heart keeps reaching for hope, but understand this clearly. You were not repeating yourself to awaken my attention. You were returning because your heart needed reassurance. There were things happening between your first prayer and this moment that you could not see. Some involved timing, some involved other people making choices, some involved your own healing preparation and courage. Some involved doors closing so that harm would not continue. The space between asking and seeing was not empty. My beloved child, think about Daniel praying and waiting while movement was taking place beyond what he could observe. His delay did not mean his prayer had been ignored. The answer was not absent simply because it was not visible. In the same way, you must not use silence as proof that nothing has begun. I do not want you to turn every delay into a promise that a specific outcome must happen. I heard you, but my answer may protect you from what you requested. It may redirect you. It may give strength instead of immediate escape. It may bring truth before comfort. My love answers with wisdom, not with blind agreement. You have sometimes believed that if you were more valuable, the pain would have been less. You looked at what happened and decided that suffering proved you were not protected, not chosen, or not important. My beloved child, pain is not a reliable measure of worth. A storm does not ask whether the house beneath it is valuable. Brokenness in this world touches people without first judging their value. I never looked at your wounds and saw someone less worthy of love. I saw a person who needed care. I never looked at your mistakes and decided your future should be erased. I saw places where truth, correction, forgiveness, and growth were needed. Your failure could teach you, but it could not rename you. Remember Peter after he denied me. Shame could have convinced him that one terrible night had canceled everything. Yet I met him again, fed him, spoke with him, and restored his responsibility. My beloved child, I did not ignore what happened, but I also did not reduce him to it. I work this way. You are more than the worst choice you made. You are more than the person who walked away. You are more than the opportunity you lost. You are more than the season when fear controlled your decisions. My beloved child, your value comes from the love that created you, not from the approval of people who saw only part of your story. Human beings may misunderstand, reject, compare, or use you. Their treatment can wound you, but it does not become the authority on who you are. You have tried to prove your value by being useful. You became dependable, available, generous, and strong. These qualities can be beautiful, but they become exhausting when they are used to earn belonging. You do not have to solve every problem to deserve a place in someone's life. Love that is healthy will not require you to perform. It will allow you to have needs, limits, questions, and tired days. My beloved child, anyone who values you only when you are useful is valuing what you provide, not the fullness of who you are. I want you to stop negotiating your dignity for attention. Do not make yourself smaller to keep someone comfortable. Do not accept confusion because loneliness feels frightening. Do not continue proving loyalty to people who dismiss your heart. You can remain loving without abandoning yourself. This does not mean you will never need correction. Your worth does not make every choice right. I love you enough to show you when pride, fear, bitterness, or avoidance is leading you. But correction is not a declaration that you are worthless. Correction is evidence that your life matters enough to guide. My beloved child, learn to separate guilt from shame. Guilt can say, I did something that needs to be made right. Shame says, I am something that can never be made right. I can use guilt to lead you toward apology, change, and repair. Shame only keeps you hiding from the very help you need. Come out of hiding. Bring me what you regret. Make amends where it is wise and safe. Receive forgiveness where forgiveness has been offered. Then stop reopening a case I have already called you to leave behind. My beloved child, there may be consequences that need time. Forgiveness does not erase every result. Trust may need rebuilding. A relationship may remain changed. Healing may require patience. But consequences are not proof that grace has failed. Grace can walk with you through responsibility without allowing responsibility to become lifelong self-hatred. I heard you the first time because I knew your voice. I never questioned your value because I knew who you were before anyone formed an opinion about you. I knew your tenderness before pain made you guarded. I knew your gifts before exhaustion buried them. I knew your purpose before fear narrowed your vision. Now I am teaching you to see yourself with truth, not as flawless, not as superior, but as loved, responsible, growing, and worthy of care. Humility does not mean thinking you have no value. Humility means seeing yourself honestly without exaggeration and without contempt. My beloved child, let hope rise from this foundation. You do not need a miracle to prove that you matter. You do not need a relationship to confirm that you are lovable. You do not need public success to prove that your life has purpose. Those gifts may come, but they do not create your worth. You were heard, you were seen, you were loved before the answer appeared. And the help moving toward you is not a reward for finally becoming valuable. It is an expression of care for someone whose value was never in question. Now that this truth is becoming steadier, you are ready to understand the next part of the journey. The help I send is not meant to make you passive or dependent. Stay close, my beloved child. In the next part, I will show you that this is partnership, not just rescue, and that healing will teach you how to walk with support while taking responsibility for your life. My beloved child, I told you that the help I send is not meant to make you passive or dependent. This is partnership, not just rescue. I am not coming to remove every responsibility from your hands. I am coming to walk beside you, strengthen what is weak, guide what is uncertain, and teach you how to move with me instead of controlling everything alone. Rescue may lift you out of immediate danger. Partnership teaches you how to live differently after danger has passed. Rescue can carry you through one crisis. Partnership forms a new rhythm for the days that follow. My beloved child, I do not only want to bring relief, I want to build wisdom, courage, trust, and steadiness within you. You have imagined help as someone doing everything for you. Part of that desire came from exhaustion. You were tired of deciding, explaining, fixing, and carrying. You wanted one person to arrive with every answer. I understand that longing, but no human being can safely become the source of your life. The people I send may support you, teach you, pray with you, and carry part of the burden, but they are not meant to replace your voice, judgment, responsibility, or relationship with me. Healthy partnership does not make one person disappear so another can lead everything. My beloved child, think about Nehemiah rebuilding the wall. He prayed, planned, gathered people, assigned different sections, and remained attentive to danger. He did not call prayer a substitute for preparation. He did not call leadership a reason to work alone. The wall rose because people brought different strengths into one shared purpose. This is how I want you to understand the next season. You will still have a part to carry, but not every part. You will still make decisions, but not without wisdom. You will still face difficult moments, but difficulty will not prove that support has failed. Partnership requires honesty. You cannot be truly supported while pretending you need nothing. Learn to say what is real before resentment grows. Say when you are tired. Say when you need time. Say when you do not understand. Say when help is useful and when the help offered is not what you need. My beloved child, honest partnership also requires listening. The person beside you may see something you missed. They may notice a pattern, risk, or opportunity that fear hid from view. Do not assume correction is control. Test what is said with truth, wisdom, prayer, and consistency. At the same time, do not surrender discernment because someone sounds confident. Partnership is not blind agreement. You may ask questions, pause, and disagree respectfully. The right people will not punish you for thinking carefully. Healthy partnership creates room for both people to remain whole. It allows different gifts to work together. One person may bring vision, Another may bring organization. One may offer courage. Another may notice details. My beloved child, unity does not require sameness. Shared purpose can hold different strengths. You have feared that accepting help will make you dependent. There is a difference between dependence that weakens your ability to stand and interdependence that helps everyone become stronger. Unhealthy dependence says you cannot function without one person's approval or presence. Healthy interdependence says people can support one another while each remains responsible before me. My beloved child, the right support will not solve every problem before you learn. It will not remove every consequence. It may teach, encourage, and stand beside you while you do the work that belongs to you. A good counselor will not live your life for you. A wise friend will not make every decision for you. A healthy partner will help you hear your own voice, act with wisdom, and become more honest. Partnership also means you will not always be the one receiving. There will be moments when your strength supports another person. But this rhythm must differ from your old pattern of giving until you disappear. You will learn to help without becoming responsible for someone else's whole life. My beloved child, you can stand beside another person without carrying what belongs to them. You can offer compassion without removing every consequence. You can encourage change without trying to force it. Love walks with people, but love does not always carry them away from every lesson. Remember the friends who lowered the paralyzed man through the roof. They carried him to the place where he could receive what they could not give. They did not heal him themselves. They used their strength to bring him closer to me. That is partnership. The people I send may bring you closer to truth, healing, wisdom, and responsibility. They may hold a door open, but you must walk through. They may remind you what is true, but you must choose whether to live by it. They may stand beside you, but they cannot surrender on your behalf. My beloved child, partnership with me means participation. Bring me the real situation. Listen for guidance. Take the next wise step, then return. You may want the whole answer at once. I may give enough for today. You may want certainty before acting. I may give peace, counsel, and clear responsibility. You may want me to remove the difficult conversation. I may give courage to enter it with honesty and grace. Partnership changes prayer from a last resort into a daily rhythm. You come before the decision during the work after the conversation, and while you wait. My beloved child, I want to be included in the ordinary parts of your life. This new season will require humility. You will need humility to ask, receive, learn, apologize, and adjust. You will also need humility to stop rescuing everyone around you. Humility accepts that you are neither helpless nor all-powerful. You are loved, limited, responsible, and supported. Do not be afraid when partnership feels slower than rescue. Rescue wants immediate relief. Partnership builds something that can last. It teaches communication, trust, patience, responsibility, and shared strength. These things grow through repeated actions, not one emotional promise. My beloved child, look for people who show up consistently. Look for those who respect truth, boundaries, and responsibility. Look for those who can celebrate your growth without feeling threatened. Look for those who point you toward me rather than making themselves the center. Become that kind of person slowly. Let your words agree with your actions. Keep confidence carefully. Apologize when needed. Respect another person's no. Offer help without demanding control. Partnership becomes trustworthy through character. This is not just rescue. It is the beginning of a healthier way to live. You are learning how to walk with me, receive support, use your voice, carry your part, and release what was never yours. Shared strength is becoming part of your future. My beloved child, one final step remains in this journey. You have learned to receive help, but soon you will learn how restoration becomes service without turning back into self-neglect. Stay close. In the final part, I will show you how to receive the help, rise with gratitude, and become someone else's helper without losing yourself again. My beloved child, I told you that one final step remained. You have learned how to receive help, walk in partnership, use your voice, and carry only what belongs in your hands. Now I want to show you what comes after restoration. Receive the help, rise with gratitude, then become someone else's helper without losing yourself again. Do not rush past this part. You have spent so much of your life giving, fixing, explaining, and carrying that receiving may still feel uncomfortable. You may believe kindness must be repaid immediately. You may fear that accepting support creates a debt. My beloved child, let grace be grace. Let love reach you before you turn it into another responsibility. Receive the meal without apologizing for needing it. Receive the conversation without pretending you are stronger than you feel. Receive wise counsel without believing that asking makes you incapable. Receive rest without calling yourself lazy. Receive care without searching for the hidden condition behind it. Not every gift is a trap. I know disappointment trained you to protect yourself. I know some people gave with one hand and controlled with the other. That is why I taught you discernment. But discernment is not the refusal of all kindness. It is the ability to recognize care that respects your dignity, your boundaries, and your freedom. My beloved child, receive slowly if you need to. Healing does not demand that you trust faster than wisdom allows. Let consistency speak. Let actions confirm words. Let your body learn that safety can remain. You are not required to open every room of your heart at once. Remember how I washed the feet of my disciples. Peter resisted because receiving felt uncomfortable to him. He wanted to prove loyalty through action, yet he also needed to let me serve him. There are moments when humility means giving. There are other moments when humility means allowing yourself to be cared for. My beloved child, you do not have to earn what is offered freely. Say thank you. Let your heart soften. Let your shoulders lower. Let the part of you that has always stayed alert discover that receiving does not have to mean losing control. Rising does not mean pretending the past never happened. It does not mean you will never feel tired again. It means the past no longer decides where you must remain. You can carry wisdom without carrying shame. You can remember pain without living as though the wound is still open every day. Take the next honest step. Return to the work that gives meaning. Repair what can be repaired. Leave what continues to destroy peace. Build routines that protect your health. Speak with greater courage. Rest before exhaustion becomes collapse. Purpose is not always a dramatic leap. Often it is a series of faithful choices. My beloved child, when I told the man who had been unable to walk to rise, I also told him to take up what had once carried him. The place of weakness became part of his testimony, but it no longer controlled his movement. In the same way, you may remember what held you, but you do not have to remain beneath it. The strength returning to you is not the old strength that refused help. It is wiser strength. It knows how to pause, ask, receive, and choose. It does not need to prove itself through endless suffering. It understands that courage can look like leaving, staying, apologizing, resting, beginning, or waiting. My beloved child, rise without rushing. A person recovering from a long season of pressure must learn a new pace. You may be tempted to fill every empty space because stillness once felt frightening. Do not rebuild the same exhaustion in a different form. Protect the peace you fought to recognize. Then, when you have received and begun to rise, allow what was given to you to flow toward someone else. One day you will notice a person carrying a weight that feels familiar. You will recognize the careful smile, the tired eyes, or the words, "I am fine." You will understand something beneath their silence because you once stood in a similar place. My beloved child, you will not need every answer. You will not need to rescue them. You may simply listen without interrupting. You may say, "I believe you." You may offer a meal, a ride, a prayer, a helpful contact, or a quiet presence. Small acts of care can become shelter. Remember the Samaritan who stopped beside the wounded traveler. He noticed what others passed by. He offered practical care, used what was available, and helped the wounded person reach a place of safety. But he did not become the man's entire future. He gave wisely arranged, continued support, and then continued his own journey. Compassion does not require self-abandonment. You do not have to answer every call, solve every crisis, or become responsible for every outcome. My beloved child, you can serve with boundaries. You can care while remaining honest about your capacity. Ask what help is truly yours to give. Sometimes it will be presence. Sometimes it will be practical support. Sometimes it will be truth. Sometimes the most loving response will be encouraging someone to seek professional care, community, or guidance beyond what you can provide. Your story can become a bridge, but it should not become a stage where another person's pain is used to prove your strength. Share with humility. Speak only what is helpful. Protect what is private. Let your scars create compassion, not superiority. My beloved child, you once asked whether your suffering mattered. I never needed the suffering itself to be good in order to bring good through your life. What harmed you does not receive credit for your compassion. Grace receives that credit. Love met you, restored you, and taught you how to notice others. Carry it into your home through patience and truth. Carry it into your work through integrity. Carry it into relationships through boundaries and kindness. Carry it into lonely places through presence. Carry it without pressure, pride, or the need to be recognized. My beloved child, this journey began with a warning to stop carrying everything alone. It ends with a new way of living. You receive without shame. You rise without denying the past. You help without disappearing. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not too late. You are not disqualified by the days when fear was loud. You are seen, loved, guided, and still becoming. The help was real. The healing is continuing. The purpose is opening one faithful step at a time. So receive what is offered with wisdom. Rise when strength returns. Walk slowly enough to remain whole. And when you meet someone still standing in the darkness you once knew, offer a light without setting yourself on fire. My beloved child, go forward now with peace. I will remain beside you in every new beginning, every honest boundary, every act of service, and every quiet return. You will not walk alone, and through your restored life, someone else will learn that they do not have to walk alone either.